Hi students and parents, I am GK Pillai. This is my maths channel for classes 7 and 8. A channel by name Maths Classes 10th CBSE by GK Pillai is already available on YouTube with around 20 videos and many subscribers. These videos are the result of my teaching experience of many years. Teaching individually and online hundreds of students, especially from New Delhi. My videos for classes 7 and 8 are based on latest syllabus and textbooks from 2025-26. I know one thing, many schools use textbooks from private publishers. Teachers also teach extra materials in the classes. Being an experienced person, I am taking care of all these aspects in my videos. For revising fundamentals of a chapter, finding answers to textbook questions, and extra questions for practice, students can depend on my videos anytime during the year. Subscribe to my channel, press the like button and share the videos to your friends and relatives of classes 7 and 8. My present video is for class 8 Quadrilaterals chapter. You will find the fundamentals of the chapter and answers to selected textbook questions. Remaining textbook questions will be covered in my next video. There is no mention of polygons in your present textbook, but it was very much part of your previous textbook. There is no harm in learning just one or two definitions which are definitely relevant to your chapter. Polygons, the definition goes this way. A simple closed curve made up of only line segments is called a polygon. This is a polygon made up of 4 line segments. Classification of polygons. Polygons are classified according to number of sides they have. Triangles with 3 sides, quadrilateral 4 sides, pentagon 5 sides, and so on. Now convex and concave polygons. This is an example of a concave polygon and this is a convex polygon. Polygons that are convex have no portions of their diagonals in their exteriors. Here you can see one of the diagonals is outside the quadrilateral. So this is a concave polygon. There is a figure at the end of your chapter quadrilateral showing this. Here the total interior angles. Normally the total interior angles of a quadrilateral is 360 degrees, but in this case that does not hold. Now regular and irregular polygons. A regular polygon is both equiangular and equilateral. Equilateral means all the sides are equal. Equiangular means all the angles are equal. The examples of regular polygons are equilateral triangle, square, regular pentagon, etc. These are all regular polygons. If the sides are not equal, naturally the angles will not be equal, then they are not regular polygons, they are irregular polygons. Now you will learn about the definition of quadrilateral. Quadrilateral is a 4-sided figure, or it's a polygon of 4 sides. In the textbook there is mention of the angles of a quadrilateral, are the angles between the sides. If these two are the side, there is an angle in between these two sides. Type of quadrilaterals: rectangle, square, parallelogram, rhombus, trapezium and kite. We will be learning about all these quadrilaterals, the properties, including the sides, diagonals, angles, etc. Now, before going further, you should learn what is the congruency of triangles. At many places in your textbook, there is mention of congruency of triangles. You might have learned in your earlier class, but I don't think you must be remembering it now. Let me explain this. These two triangles may be congruent. If you cut this triangle out and place it over this, these two should exactly coincide. I repeat, if you cut this triangle from here, maybe on a paper, and place it over this, then these two should exactly coincide. Then the two triangles will be congruent. Now, two triangles may be congruent by SSS, SAS, ASA, and RHS congruency. SSS means if the three sides of one triangle are respectively equal to the three sides of another triangle, then the two triangles are congruent by SSS. SAS, if the two sides of one triangle, maybe these two, are respectively equal to the two sides of another triangle, and the angle which comes in between should be equal, then the two triangles are congruent by SAS. Now the ASA congruency. ASA means angle side angle. If the two angles of a triangle are respectively equal to the two angles of another triangle, and the side which comes in between are also equal, then the two triangles will be congruent by ASA. Angle side angle. RHS congruency, if you take two triangles, two right triangles, if the two angles are 90 degrees each, the hypotenuse, which is opposite to 90 degrees, they are equal, and one of the remaining sides must be equal, the two of the two triangles. Then the two triangles are congruent by RHS congruency. The way we write, this is the symbolic way of writing the two triangles to be congruent. Angle sum property of a quadrilateral. The sum of the four angles of a quadrilateral is 360 degrees. This is a very important proof. This may be asked as it is in your school exams. You will find the same thing in your textbook also. For proving this, we will join BD so that we get two triangles. Now you should remember the angle sum property of a triangle. In triangle ABD, angle 1 plus 2 plus 4 is equal to 180 degrees. And in the other triangle, angle 3 plus 5 plus 6 equal to 180 degrees. Now let us add these two. We will get angle 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 5 plus 3 plus 6 equal to 180 plus 180, 360 degrees. Now let us group 2 and 3 together and 4 and 5 together and put it in brackets. Here you will find angle 2 plus 3 and 4 plus 5. Why we are doing so? Because 2 plus 3 happens to be angle B and 4 plus 5 happens to be angle D. So you get the final answer A plus B plus B plus C equal to 360 degrees. This is a very important proof. Rectangles. This is the first quadrilateral we are going to deal with. You must have already dealt with rectangles in your earlier classes, maybe for finding the area of this rectangle, etc. A rectangle is a quadrilateral in which the angles are all right angles, 90 degrees each. All the angles are 90 degrees each. The opposite sides are parallel and of equal length. AB equal to CD and AD equal to BC. And they are parallel also. The opposite pairs are parallel. The diagonals are of equal length and they bisect each other. AC is equal to BD and also they bisect each other, means OA equal to OB equal to OC equal to OD. All the four parts are equal. Let me repeat again. In a rectangle, the angles are all right angles. All the four angles are equal to 90 degrees each. Opposite sides are parallel and equal. The diagonals are of equal length and they bisect each other. Next quadrilateral we are going to discuss is the square. A square is a quadrilateral in which all the angles are 90 degrees each and all the sides are of equal length. That is the difference between a square and a rectangle. In a rectangle all the sides are not equal, but in a square all the sides are equal. These are the properties. I am repeating this here also because when you are asked the properties of a square, you should include this also. All the sides of a square are of equal length and the angles are equal to 90 degrees each. The opposite sides are parallel to each other. It is the same thing in your rectangle also. The diagonals are of equal length and they bisect each other at right angles. The diagonals bisect the angles of a square. This is not a very important one. If this is the diagonal, it will be bisecting these angles B and D. These two portions must be equal and these two angles must be equal. That is the thing. In fact, rectangle, rhombus, square, these are all parallelograms only. A parallelogram is a quadrilateral in which the opposite sides are parallel. Here, the properties of a parallelogram, the opposite sides of a parallelogram are equal and parallel. So the opposite sides are parallel as well as equal. The opposite angles are equal. This angle must be equal to this angle and this angle equal to this angle. And the adjacent angles add up to 180 degrees. If you add these two angles, it will be 180 degrees. Once again, if you add these two angles also, it will give you 180 degrees. So the adjacent angles add up to 180 degrees because these two lines are parallel. These are the interior angles. The diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other. This portion will be equal to this part and this part will be equal to this part. Rhombus is an important figure. Rhombus is also a parallelogram only. A rhombus is a quadrilateral in which all the sides have the same length. In a square also all the sides are of equal length only. But the properties of rhombus are a bit different. All the sides are equal, opposite sides are parallel, the opposite angles are equal, and the adjacent angles add up to 180 degrees. The same thing we read in parallelogram also. The diagonals of a rhombus bisect each other at right angles. In a square also, the diagonals bisect each other at 90 degrees. The diagonals of a rhombus bisect its angle. It's not a very important thing. The diagonals bisect these angles. For example, this diagonal will bisect angle C and A. This part will be equal to this portion and this part will be equal to this part. Now we will learn about trapezium. Trapezium is a special type of quadrilateral in which one pair of opposite sides are parallel. The properties are one pair of opposite sides are parallel. The pair of interior angles between the parallel sides add up to 180 degrees. Sum of these two angles is 180 degrees. Now, isosceles trapezium. When the non-parallel sides of a trapezium, these two sides are equal, have the same length, the trapezium is called isosceles trapezium. These two are the parallel sides and these two are the non-parallel sides. If the non-parallel sides are equal, then it is called an isosceles trapezium. In an isosceles trapezium, the angles opposite to equal sides are equal. So if these two sides are equal, this angle will be equal to this angle and this angle is equal to this angle. It happens because these two triangles become congruent. Kite. A kite is a quadrilateral that can be labeled ABCD such that AB equal to BC and CD equal to DA. This portion equal to this one and this equal to this one. Here the properties are: the diagonal BD bisects angle ABC and ADC. The BD bisects this angle as well as this angle. That means this angle is equal to this angle. This angle is equal to this angle. It bisects the diagonal AC. This is the diagonal AC. It is bisected by BD. So this portion is equal to this portion. But this portion is not equal to this one. That is why they are specially saying the diagonal BD bisects AC only. Now I will be discussing two questions from your textbook only. Here you have to find all the other angles inside this rectangle. You are given one angle to be 30 degrees. We have to find the remaining angles. We know that the angles in a rectangle is 90 degrees. If this is 30 degrees, angle 1 will be 90 minus 30, 60 degrees. In a rectangle, the diagonals are equal and bisect each other. Therefore, OA equal to OD. In a triangle, if two sides are equal, then the angles opposite to them are equal. Therefore, angle 1 is equal to angle 2. We got angle 1 equal to 60 degrees. Therefore, 2 also will be equal to 60 degrees. Now, in this triangle, angle 1 plus 2 is equal to 60 plus 60, 120 degrees. Therefore, the third angle 3 will be equal to 60 degrees. Now 3 is equal to 4 vertically opposite angle, so 4 will be also equal to 60 degrees. Now angle 3 plus angle 5 will be 180 degrees linear pair. If this angle 3 is 60 degrees, angle 5 will be equal to 180 minus 60, 120 degrees. Now one more thing, we got angle 2 to be equal to 60 degrees. 90 minus 60, angle 6 will be 30 degrees. Similarly, the way we have found out the angles, you can find the remaining angles also. These two angles will be equal to 60 degrees each. And these two angles will be 30 degrees each. And here also this angle will be also equal to 30 degrees only. This is another rectangle. Here also you have to find the remaining angles when one angle is given. This angle is given as 110 degrees. You have to find all the remaining angles. First of all, angle 1 plus 110 degrees equal to 180 degrees linear pair. Therefore, angle 1 will be equal to 70 degrees. And angle 1 is equal to angle 2 vertically opposite angles. Therefore, 2 is also equal to 70 degrees. Now, in this triangle, we got angle 1 equal to 70 degrees. So, the remaining two angles, angle 3 plus angle 4 will be equal to 110 degrees. And as we have discussed in the previous sum, angle 3 is equal to angle 4. So, we will get both the angles 3 and 4 equal to 55 degrees. Now, we got angle 3 to be 55 degrees. We know the angle in a rectangle is 90 degrees. 90 minus 3, you will get angle 5. That will be 35 degrees. We know one more thing, angle 5 is equal to angle 6 only. So angle 6 also will be equal to 35 degrees. Similarly, here also we will get these two angles to be 35 degrees. And angle 3 and 4 will be equal to, these two angles will be 55 degrees each. Here we will get some true and false questions. This may be asked in the exam as an MCQ also. All these questions are false. That is why it has been grouped here like this. A quadrilateral whose diagonals are equal and bisect each other must be a square. It's false because it can be a square or a rectangle. A quadrilateral having 3 right angles must be a rectangle. False. It can be a rectangle or a square. 3 angles right angles mean the fourth angle will be naturally 90 degrees only. A quadrilateral whose diagonals are perpendicular to each other must be a rhombus. That is also false because it can be a square or a rhombus or even a kite. A quadrilateral in which all the angles are equal is a rectangle. That is false because it can be a square or a rectangle. Now the fifth one, isosceles trapeziums are parallelograms. That is false. And now the another two, a quadrilateral whose diagonals bisect each other must be a parallelogram. This is true because in a rectangle, square, rhombus, these are all parallelograms only. Now the next one, a quadrilateral in which the opposite angles are equal must be a parallelogram. This is also true because rectangle, square, rhombus, and these are all parallelograms only. Let me give you information about my future videos on this channel. For the quadrilaterals chapter, there will be more videos with answers to textbook questions and extra practice questions. Videos on the remaining chapters of classes 7 and 8 will be added very soon. And more importantly, the exam tips for your exams and also the important formulae and conversion tables will also be added soon. So my request is to subscribe to my channel and also share the link of my channel and videos to other students so that they are also benefited.